So, hello everyone. It's May. So that means that I need to do my April wrap up. This month was kind of weird. We had the owls, which I did not complete. I don't know. It was just a bit of a mess. But I'm gonna try and be brief. Just talk about the books that I read and yeah, just talk about that. So the first book that I picked up was Passenger by Alexander Bracken. Here's the thing, I read this book a long time ago. I think I read it in 2017. So I already knew what happened, I already knew how it ended, but overall I just think that I found a lot more issues with this book, particularly with the writing. It took me a while to finish, and I don't know, I really do like the characters. I like Nicholas and I like Etta, but the writing was just it didn't flow with me, and I don't know why, it was just a bit hard to read. But if you guys don't know, the story follows Etta, who is a very famous, is it violinist? I think that I had the same issue in my TBR, I forgot. But she plays the violin, she's very famous at it, and she then finds out that her family is a family of time travelers. So yeah, it's good. It's a book about time travel, but the thing that I didn't really like was not only the writing, but the fact that I was left with a lot of questions. And when we're working with a subject like time travel, I'm sorry, when we're working with a topic like that, it's very important to make things clear and make things work and take the time to really work through the rules of how things work and the things that people are allowed to do and the things that they are not allowed to do. So by the end of this book, I was left with a lot of questions, and they were not the good ones. I feel like sometimes when a book finishes, we want to know more. We're not sure what's going to happen next, so we have natural, curious questions, but they're not bad ones. We know that we're going to get the answer to them, but the questions that I had by the end of this book, I feel like were not good ones. They were things that I should have been explained, and there were so many things that I didn't understand that, yeah, it's weird. But I really, really like the romance, and I really like the characters, and particularly how the topic of race is discussed in here, particularly with Nicholas and how he has just been brought up, and how he, despite the prejudices of the time period that he is in, he has been able to make a life for himself and become a leader. It's really inspiring, and I really, really like that aspect. But yeah, the writing, not so much. So then I picked up Wayfarer, which I DNF'd. I was on page 145. Again, the writing, I couldn't get into it. Things didn't flow. The story wasn't really picking up. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it, and I just wanted to put it here so that you can know a bit of my thoughts. But this was supposed to be the challenge, I think, read a sequel, which was Potions from the Owls. I think that this book just messed up my entire Owls TBR, because I spent so long trying to finish this book that I just got really, really behind on my books for the Owls the Owls Readathon. So yeah, I really want to finish it. I don't like leaving books unfinished, and I really want to know what happens in the story. It's just that I'm gonna have to just pick it up sometime, just not now. And yeah, that's my thoughts. After that, I was in a bit of a reading slump, and I was like, you know what, I just want to pick up something that I am really excited to read, and that doesn't necessarily is part of the Owls Readathon. So I picked up A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camerier. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that, but yeah, this book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling I really enjoy this book. I'm gonna make a separate review about this, and I think that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. But really quick thoughts: I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed the portrayal of disability in this book. Harper has the cerebral palsy, which I am sorry to say that I did not know anything about cerebral palsy. So it was interesting to have that sort of disability be portrayed in a fantasy setting, and how basically Harper never uses her disability or is ashamed of her disability. I really enjoyed how the relationship between Ren and Gray was portrayed as well. I think it's a very complex relationship, and I can't wait to just be able to explore it more. And also, Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite fairy tales in general, so seeing it portrayed and being able to pick up on the elements of the story was just amazing, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go a bit in depth about this book in a future review, so be on the lookout for that. Then I picked up 2 manga, so I picked up Bakuman Volume 1 and Bakuman Volume 2. And here's the thing, I remembered liking the first volume, but now I read it again and I really didn't enjoy it. It felt repetitive. We're just following these 2 teenagers. They want to become manga writers, so we're basically just following them through that journey, and them drawing, and then coming up with stories, and then taking them to the publisher to see if they can get published. And it's just a bit of a repetitive thing. And I also didn't like the portrayal of women in this series at all. We have basically the women are used as, I guess, a motivation to get somewhere. For instance, the main character of the story, he ends up wanting to write manga because his crush told him that if he does so, then they will get married, which is a very immature thing, and I guess it's kind of a comedic and funny aspect. But I don't know, I really didn't like it. There was a particular conversation about women and them being smart. There is a character here who is a female who is very smart in class, and they basically discuss why the fact that she is so smart makes her unattractive to men, and they kind of agree with that she is unattractive because she is smart, and I really didn't like it at all. So I have the 3rd volume and I don't even want to read it because I was so mad about it, and yeah, I don't recommend it. Don't read it, don't waste your money. And then finally, I read Persuasion by Jane Austen. You guys know that I have been reading a classic per month, and Persuasion was this month's classic. And yeah, this was supposed to be the herbology challenge, which was read a book with flowers or plants on the cover. So yeah, there it is. But yeah, this story follows Anne, who is a lady that fell in love with a captain when she was 19, and they were engaged, and basically her family and her friend, which is an old lady, they were against it, and they said, you know what, this isn't favorable for you, so just break it off. And she, being Anne, decides to break off the engagement. But the story follows Anne much later, I believe 8 years later, when she meets Captain Wentworth again, and it's amazing. I just love Jane Austen so much. I know that not everyone likes her, but yeah, it's a really good book. I really like how Jane Austen really dives into the topic of money and status and power and just how that affects people in different ways. And it's just amazing to see all of these characters being so realistic. I feel like I could identify each character. I would be like, I know a person who is just like that, which is not something that you can really say with the rest of the books that I read, I guess. Yeah, but like every Jane Austen novel, the romance is kind of put, it's kind of for the end of the book, which is weird because I really do like the romance scenes in here, but I just wanted more of them. But yeah, they were really good, and there is this sort of tension that builds up in the story, and even though that we have very little scenes between Anne and Captain Wentworth, or just interactions in general, when we do get to see them, we really get the tension, and it's just amazing to read, and I loved it. So yeah, I wanted to just quickly say the books that I am thinking about reading in May. I have 2 books that I want to read. Wait, no, 3. Yeah, 3. I have Truth Witch, which I'm currently reading, and I'm buddy reading it with Noria. I have Noria from Noria Reads. I'm gonna link her channel below. She's amazing. I'm also reading Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, which is the sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone. So yeah, I'm also reading that, and I really want to read either Northern Abbey or Jane Eyre. I think I'm gonna read Northern Abbey because I love Jane Austen, and I just want to keep reading her works. So yeah, those are the 3 books that I think I'm going to be reading for the month of May, and if I read more, then great. If I don't, that's fine. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys with the next video. Bye.